Welcome to the Professional Amateur. If you're one of my returning subscribers, welcome back. If you're stopping by for the first time, thank you so much. It is great to have you here. If you feel this channel may interest you, click subscribe. If you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you don't like the video, please leave us a comment. And if you want to be notified about future videos, please click the bell icon. Now, with that out of the way, you can see from the title that today we are looking at my bug out bag. So a friend of mine asked me a few days ago, based on your experience, what do you feel a bug out bag should contain? So let me go over my experience just a little bit. 20 plus years in the military. I grew up in a very rural part of the south central United States. I've got a lot of experience in the woods, and my bag is ever changing. So we'll go over that too. So what is a bug out bag? A bug out bag is meant to sustain an individual for 72 hours or 3 days. And this sustaining is your body temperature, your hydration, your calories. It's to distance yourself from a threat and to be your supplies while you are distancing. Now, of course, bunkering is preferred and distancing is a last resort, or bugging out is a last resort. If I have to leave my home, then that means that the fan is full of feces. That means that my home has been compromised and I have no choice but to put distance between my home and myself. God forbid that ever happen, but if it does, what I'm going over today is what I feel the bare minimum of what you need in your bag. So some things to think about is how much can you carry. Now, a general rule of thumb is 20% of your body weight. 20% of my body weight is 42 pounds. My bag doesn't weigh near 42 pounds. I would rather sacrifice some items to be able to put more distance between myself and a threat. Also, the things that I consider the bare necessities do not add up to 42 pounds. So something else to think about is your dependents. How much can they carry? Is anybody going to be bugging out with you? And if they are, will you have to share some of their weight, whether it be someone with a frail condition or a younger child? Will you have to bear some of the weight that would be some of the things that they have to carry? Also, something to think about is seasonal and environmental changes drastically change the dynamics of any survival situation. So right now it is August in South Mississippi and it is very hot. So of course I would be more worried about hyperthermia than hypothermia. I would be more worried about hydration than freezing, and I would be less worried about calories. Although when you're on the move, you're still burning calories. But there are a lot of things that I may pack in the winter that I would definitely not pack in the summer when it comes to, an extra shell of protection on your person, or insulated socks, or extra gloves, or things like that. So seasonal environmental conditions are always to be taken into consideration. Another thing that I would suggest is train with your gear as often as possible. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in the backyard. If you've got a fire starter kit, try starting a fire with it before the situation arises that you need to start a fire with it. If you've got a new piece of camping gear, know your way around it, know how to unpack it, how to use it, how to repack it, and it be the same size as when you unpacked it. I know, I know that's damn near impossible, but give it a shot. Train with your gear. If you have a new radio, or if you have a new first aid kit, please don't open your first aid kit for the first time when you need it. Go through it, familiarize yourself with it. If there's something in there you're not sure about, Google it. There's a wealth of information out there, and I know this is probably the 101,000th video on a bug out bag on YouTube, but this is just my 2 cents, and I hope you enjoy it. So something in all of these videos that's rarely mentioned is waterproofing. Now, in the military, when I first got in, we were issued a waterproof bag to go into our rucksacks, that we were to keep certain things in there, like an extra pair of socks and things that didn't need to get wet. waterproofing or making a bag water resistant is not that difficult. You can use trash bags, which they're not quite as robust as some of the other things you could get, like I call them suck sacks. It's the humongous bag that you can put a vacuum on, and it draws your clothes up for storage and things like that. Find one that's close to the size of the interior of your bag, or several, and put it in your bag. Put your gear inside that bag, seal it up, and if you do have to cross a body of water or something like that, or you're in a rainstorm, your stuff stays a little bit more dry. And even during the summer, if your stuff is wet, after the sun goes down, you don't have a fire because it's too wet. And a lot of different situations, it can lower your body temperature to a critical level. So take into consideration waterproofing. And for smaller things in your pack that you don't want to get wet, look at your small zipper storage bags, your freezer bags, sandwich bags, things like that. Plastic is a wonderful thing. Also, redundancy should always be a consideration. If you can carry two of one item, carry two of one item. Something as simple as lighters, carry two of them if you've got room for two of them. So, so we'll hit on that more further into the video. So first, we're going to talk about the bag. The bag needs to be durable. It needs to be comfortable, preferably modular, and any bag can be made water resistant, as we were just talking. Now, the bag that I use, now it's a little clunky, but there is a reason I use it. That's because I trained with it. This is my ruck. As you can see right now, it's empty, but there are a lot of different, small compartments on there for different things. Like one of the small compartments is for my sleeping gear. Another small compartment is for electronics, and that's the one that is double protected against water intrusion. But anyway, yeah, it's got great support for my love handles. It's got the old style metal rack on it. This is what I use. It's what I trained with for years, so it's what I'm gonna continue to use. I'm used to it. The bag is a lot less important than the things you put in it, though. Just make sure the bag is something that you're going to be able to move with, and preferably something you wear over your back so you still have your hands free to do other things. So the first things we're going to look at is air, shelter, water, food. Those are the things needed to sustain life: air, shelter, water, food, the basic needs. So with air, like I said, I do not live in an urban environment where chemical agents or gassing agents are very likely to be used. And if they are used, it would probably not be in a volume that I couldn't separate myself from quickly or put some distance between myself. So this is my air filter. This is my Shimog. This is pretty much just a piece of cloth you can wrap around your face. It's got other uses. We'll talk about that in a bit. But this is a dust mask, pretty much. It is a reusable dust mask. So that's that. That's for air. And like I said, in an urban situation, it would be so much more different. Some people would carry a gas mask or a respirator. And I just can't foresee that being an issue where I'm at right now. Another thing is shelter. And for shelter, under, over, and in is a great way to look at it. You need something under you, you need something over you, and you need something to sleep inside. I use a hammock. I used to use a tent, but not anymore because hammocks are just so much more easy to carry. Inside this bag, I have what I sleep over. This is my hammock. My hammock fits in this bag along with a ratchet strap. So all I have to do is find two upright objects, put this in between them. The ratchet strap gives me a lot of freedom on where I put it. Also, I carry cordage. We'll get into that as well. This is my over. This is what I sleep over. This is my hammock. So something to sleep under, whether it be a tarp or a tent, or in my case, I have a rain fly. Now, this rain fly can also be used as a poncho if needed, but this is designed to stretch between the same two uprights as your hammock and provide, rain deflection off of you. It also stakes to the ground on either side of you, making a nice little tent. And these things work great. And these are very inexpensive. I'm not even sure of the brand name, but the hammocks are very inexpensive. They're very easy to use, and you can actually put them back in the packs that they came in. So hammocks are good. I can recommend those, but there are those that would recommend a tent. Some people just want to carry a multi-purpose tarp. I'm not going to tell you that's wrong, and I'm not going to tell you I'm right. I'm saying this works best for me. So that's what I use. And also something to sleep in. Like I said, summertime, South Mississippi, our wintertime lasts for about 5.5 weeks. So usually what you're going to find in my bag is a blanket. That's it. That's all you're going to find in my bag as something to sleep in. But also, I want to bring this up. Just say the temperature drops down a little bit more than you expect it to. This is a polypro. It is a polypropylene sweater that is designed to wear against your skin, and it holds your body temperature in. So if I did need that, I have it. So that covers our air, that covers our shelter, and we want to talk about our water. Now, a lot of folks are going to these hydration bladders. Hydration bladders are great, but not for the reason you think. Yes, they can carry more water than a canteen. They can carry more water than a bottle. If you've ever had to fill one of these up without using a sink or a water hose, you'll get what I'm talking about. And why I say they're great is the tube on these will siphon water. So you can hang this up in a tree, you can hose yourself off, you can wash your hands, whatever. But you will probably not catch one of these in my go bag or in my bug out bag. You're gonna catch one of these. This is just a regular old canteen. This is government issue. Got this at the surplus store, and it's full. Don't pack an empty canteen. Also for getting drinkable water. Getting drinkable water is not that hard to do nowadays with the advances in filtration technology and purification technology that we have. Just say you're coming up on a watering hole. It doesn't matter if it's running water, still water, whatever, stagnant water, it doesn't matter. You can take your shemagh, take your cap off of here, put your shemagh over it, put this under the water. That way the shemagh is filtering out the solids. And then you've got these purification and neutralization tablets. You can buy these in a kit. You can get them on Amazon. These are the same ones we used in the military, or same recipe of the ones that we used in the military. And another thing that has come out recently, I say recently, that I've discovered recently, is the Life Straw. This one's made by Sawyer. It was fairly highly recommended, and I hate to say this, I've not tried this yet. So this is tentative. That's why I still have the things in this bag that are in this bag. If this works, it's not big, so why not carry both? But yes, I will be testing this out. And for food, sustaining snacks. There are a lot of snacks you can put in a bag that aren't sustaining, that they'll actually do you more harm than good. But sustaining snacks or emergency rations. I myself carry emergency rations. I carry 2. Well, if you're going to be out there for 3 days, why do you only carry 2? Do you know how much junk is in here? There's a lot of stuff in these. And the high dollar ones actually have, like, little survival or comfort items in there. They have the matches and the toilet paper and an excuse for matches and toilet paper. And you know, these are great. These work. That's what I'm going to carry for food. So we have the basic necessities. We have the air, water, shelter, and food. So let's look at some of the things that might help to sustain our health while we're out there. So of course, our first aid kit. And like I said, do not let when you need it be the first time you open it. Get yourself familiar with your first aid kit. Not only do I know everything that's in here, and I have a little cheat sheet on the inside of my inventory that's in here, I've also either been trained or trained myself on how to use the things that are in here. So please familiarize yourself with your first aid kit. It could save your life. And also, when it comes to this, any medication that you may need, be sure it's ready to go as well. Now, it's not feasible to keep that in your bug out bag, but just make sure it's ready to go. If you travel a lot, make sure it's with you. Just make sure it's ready to go as well. So another thing that we're going to look at are the tools. There are a lot of tools that I like to use. There are a lot of tools that I've tested. A lot of them are gimmicks, but there are some that, you know, they do work, and I'm not going to have a bug out bag without them. The first thing is a light. You've got to have light. Sun only shines for a few hours a day. So a flashlight. Also in my bag, I've got a headlamp, the kind that you can just buy at any dollar store, dollar store or supermarket. What am I trying to say? Superstore? I'm trying to keep from using the W word. But anyway, you can get them there too. So this is just a regular flashlight. In the bag, I've got a headlamp, and it's great for hands-free. This would be more for stationary light if you just wanted to turn it on, set it up, have a lamp, whatever. So also a knife. One of the most important things to have is a knife, and a good knife. This knife was actually made by Jeremy over at Hyperion Blades. This is a perfect working tool. I want you guys to see that. That is beautiful. I love this knife. I keep a good edge on it. This is a great bushcraft knife. And also this Kydex sheath that he made, it's not gonna fall out of there, and it's got a lanyard loop in it so you can wear it on your person or you can wear it on your belt. Also has the belt loop. I like this knife. So Jeremy, excellent job. Very good. Also, some people recommend having a saw. I don't see a point. If you're going to be making a shelter, yeah, maybe. If you have to cut down something to build a fire with, it's probably not going to make a very good fire because it's green. So there's dead stuff out there. Find it, burn it. So some say a saw. I say it's not really necessary. So I could carry one. I've never had to use one in any of my training. So just take that for what it's worth. Also, a multi-tool. I carry, and I said I wasn't going to mention brand names, but I've had a lot of brand names of multi-tool, and I will suggest getting one that may be a little bit more expensive than a Gerber. I like the Leatherman Super Tool 300, and the main reason that I'm drawn to the Super Tool 300 is because of the long Phillips. Now, in a survival situation, am I going to need the long Phillips? Probably not, but my preference. Like I said, these are my opinions, and we know what opinions are like. Also, a sharpener. If knives get dull, especially the things that I do with this, I've split firewood with this knife and a baton. I mean, knives get dull. So get a sharpener, and those cheap rods you get with a knife set in a kitchen set, no. A Whitstone, if you know how to operate one. If not, they make these little easy sharp things that you just slide over the knife. That will work in a pinch. Of course, it won't get it razor or surgery sharp, but it will still work. Also, cordage. There's a lot of different cordage that I carry, and I would love to say that there's a reason, but there's not. I've been in situations where I run out. I've been in situations where the cordage that I have will not hold the weight that I need it to. So I carry a bunch of different kinds. I carry just regular nylon. I carry paracord. I carry the thick stuff. I carry the not quite thick stuff. I mean, this is the cordage that I carry. This is the space that it takes up, and you can never have too much. Like I said, my opinion, there's been times when I've needed it and not had it, and I hope that situation never comes again. But yeah, cordage. Like I said, train with your stuff. Train with it. Find out what suits you, what you're going to need. And as I said earlier, this is the bare minimum that I'm going to carry, and just my opinion. Also, a lot of folks recommend binoculars. If I lived in Wyoming, sure, yes, I would use binoculars. If I was in an urban situation, absolutely, I would have binoculars. Why would I need binoculars when with the naked eye I can't see any further than the wall of trees that's in front of me? I'm sorry, to me, binoculars just, they don't really serve a purpose. I've never experienced any scenario where I needed binoculars in the woods in South Mississippi. Navigational tools, yes. We'll go on the other end of the spectrum. Binoculars, no, because I can't see the forest for the trees. Navigational equipment, yes, because it's hard to find landmarks in thick woods. It's hard to do dead reckoning. It's hard to do things like that. So you could go old school with a lensatic compass, or you could go new school with a handheld GPS. Now, of course, your phone will do the same thing, but phone batteries don't last. Phone batteries are not replaceable, and if you're not carrying an extra battery pack, which we'll talk about in a minute too, these things are great. Redundancy, extra batteries. Always carry extra batteries. All right, and fire source. I know some people are thinking you should have mentioned that already. You should have mentioned that first. Unless I'm going to be cooking, fire is just a source of comfort. But do you need it? Yes. Does it help? Yes. Will I be cooking? Maybe. I don't know. It hasn't come a situation in a 3-day span where I had to cook something, but I tell you, getting out there and starting a fire, it does calm you down. It is like the redneck television. It is, there's something psychological about it that just helps you out. So, lighters, absolutely. There's one guy that makes videos on YouTube that swears by cotton and petroleum jelly. And he'll put the petroleum jelly in the cotton and use that as a fire starter. If it works, it works. I've never tried it. Maybe I should. But something that I've used for a while that works for me because I can use as little and or as much as I need. These little tumbleweeds you get in the grilling section, they're wax covered pine, if I'm not mistaken. There's some kind of soft wood that's covered with a paraffin wax, and when you light them, they burn forever. So you can untwist these, use as little as you need, use as much as you need. I'm sticking with that. It works great. Like I said, there are a lot of gimmicky things out there that you can try that they're advertised so much. There's just too many out there for me to try. Now, a ferro rod is great, with your striker, but you've got to have something to catch the spark, which may be why the guy likes the cotton balls and the Vaseline. But anyway, these work. I haven't come into a situation yet that they haven't worked, and these are flintless, so your flint won't get wet and turn to mud when you're trying to strike it like a Bic lighter. That's why I like using the electronic ones. So let's talk about the Hygiene Kit. Since we're away from the tools now, we're getting into the Hygiene Kit. You know what it takes to keep your own ass clean, so I'm not going to go through all of that. Yes, toothbrush, toothpaste, dental floss, whatever your morning routine is to get rid of that nasty breath you have, take that with you, most definitely. But something that I just tried, and I thought it was going to be a gimmick, but it's not. I think I've got some in here. I want to show it to you. My wife ordered this stuff. The pocket packs that you put on your tongue and they dissolve? Well, they've got that in soap now. It's a little piece of film that this comes with, looks to be about 50 of them in there. This little piece of film, when you get your hands wet and start rubbing your hands on it, it becomes soap. And they actually work very well, and they smell pretty nice too. Yeah, that with a little bit of hand sanitizer, that works great. I know some guys that carry, soap for washing their bodies and things like that. Look, we're talking 3 days here. 3 days. You don't have to get a shower every day to survive. Now, I'm sure other people with you would appreciate if you got a shower every day, but anybody that has ever done any field time in the military will tell you, baby wipes. Baby wipes work. They get the nooks and crannies clean. Yes, it feels great to take a shower, but in a span of 3 days, do you need to get under the water? Well, it depends on how dirty you got, I guess. But baby wipes work. You don't see any toilet paper in my kit. Why? Baby wipes work. So we'll come back to that. Baby wipes work. All right. So also female considerations. If you're going to have a female with you, if she is a female between the ages of birth and death, there are going to be some things that she needs that guys like me do not need. But I'll tell you what, they come in handy. These little guys right here make excellent sterile dressings. These guys, a little bit of duct tape, just saying. If bullet holes are an issue, those other feminine hygiene products, they will plug a bullet hole. So I've heard. Never tried it. Never got in a situation where somebody had a bullet hole and a tampon at the same time. But they call feminine hygiene products sanitary napkins for a reason. They are sanitary. Keep them clean, and they're made for absorbing bodily fluids. So if you've got a cut or a scrape, that's the best Band-Aid you're going to find. Little ointment, little duct tape, good to go. So we'll go over the miscellaneous stuff first, or second to last, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So miscellaneous stuff that I would suggest are anything that you have that runs off of batteries. I didn't mention my comms, my little ham radio here. Anything that you have that runs off of batteries, extra batteries. Redundancy is the key. You're most likely not going to be able to find another source to charge things. That's why I haven't mentioned a cell phone, unless you carry an extra battery bank with you. There are some solar chargers out there that work. All of the ones that I've tried have disappointed me just because it takes so long to solar charge a battery to where it would fully charge a phone. Just extra batteries. And secondary source of communication. Of course, your cell phone is going to be your primary. But if you think about it, if you've had to abandon your home, cell towers may be down. And if not, who are you going to call? Seriously, unless it's loved ones, just checking on them, or just have secondary sources of communication, have redundancy. So extra batteries. Down here I will have bug repellent. I've got a citronella cream. I've got a deep cream. You're going to want to have bug repellent, just, depending on your environment. a shovel. I said I would get back to the baby wipes. Baby wipes don't dissolve like toilet paper. Give a hoot, all right? This is a foldable shovel. In the military, we call this an entrenching tool. Folds out into a shovel for digging cat holes and hasty latrines or whatever you want to talk about. Also, folding it like this turns it into a little pickaxe or whatever. And I never saw anybody talk about stabbing this in the ground, folding this over, tightening it up. And I've tried this, it does work. Stab this in the ground, tighten this up, and you can have a toilet seat there. Now, granted, the clearance probably isn't what you want it to be, but you can have a toilet seat there, or just a regular seat to sit down on. Take it for what it's worth. Also, duct tape. I said you could make an improvised dressing out of duct tape and hygiene products. So yeah, it's a great Band-Aid right there. All right, and zip ties. Zip ties is another thing. I don't usually carry any with me because you see all the cordage that I carry. Also, trash bag. You can use this to waterproof your stuff. You can use this for a raincoat if you need to. You can use this to clean up after yourself if you give a hoot. So, trash bags, not a bad idea to have. And a fishing kit. So if you can see on the table behind me right here, that's the size of my fishing kit right there. Not much to it, but like I said, this is 3 days. I've got these 2 full meals. Only gonna fish if I have to, because I mean, it's not, unless you have to stay out there for well past 3 days, you're not gonna have to catch and clean fish. So, like I said, this is just something, yeah, my notes. This is just something to get you by for 3 days. But do I carry a fishing kit? Yes. Have I had to use it? No. Have I pulled brim hooks out of there before because I lost some in the trees? Yes. But anyway, the last thing I want to mention, this is your personal preference. Of course, my EDC is going with me, my everyday carry. And that is going to be something that is in a very common caliber. This is a SIG M17 P320. Extra ammo, make sure you have extra ammo. And plus, if I'm bugging out, my plate carrier is going with me too, and I have extra magazines in there. But that aside, just say that, now that's defensive weapon. Offensive weapon, just say you're out there and the fish aren't biting. This is an AR-7 made by Henry. It is a takedown 22, works great. I've got 30 rounds inside the stock. I'll show you, but I'm not going to put it together right now. But I've got 2 magazines here. I've got 1 magazine in here already. There's the barrel. It all attaches. I can put it together in just a matter of less than a minute. And if I needed to take down some type of mammal or critter or bird or whatever because I was starving and I ate my MREs too fast, then I could if I wanted to. And plus, it's very lightweight. It doesn't take up much room at all, and it's accurate. So anyway, that is my video. I really hope you guys liked it. And if you sat through all 30 minutes of it, thank you so much. If you feel like subscribing, go ahead. If you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, please let me know what I can do to make this a little bit better. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if anybody asks you what you're doing with all this stuff, tell them it's okay. I'm a professional amateur.